There's something I need you to hear because no one else is saying it. What you've been told about aging, about feeling tired, less driven, or less like yourself, it's not the full story. You've been led to believe that decline is inevitable, that pills and injections are your only option. But after over 30 years working with men just like you, I can tell you that's not true. I'm Dr. Maya Kapoor, and I've seen how the right kind of nourishment, real simple food, can quietly transform energy, confidence, and even intimacy. Not through magic. Through biology your body still remembers. In this video, I'll show you how 3 fruits, a red one, a green one, and a yellow one, can help you feel strong again. It's not complicated, and it's not too late. This is the beginning of something better, and I'll walk with you every step of the way. 1. Why energy fades. After 60, let me tell you something I've learned after sitting with thousands of men over the years. Something that still stings every time I see it. Most men don't talk about what's really going on. Not out loud, not even to their doctors. They come into my office for a routine checkup or a vague complaint like feeling tired lately. But it's in their eyes that I see the real question. Is this it now? Is this who I'm going to be from now on? They don't always say it, but I know. I know because the world has taught them that once they pass a certain age, their value fades. That fatigue, low desire, and a body that doesn't respond the way it used to is just the price of getting older. And worse, they're told that the only answer comes in the form of pills and procedures, things that feel clinical, costly, and disconnected from who they truly are. But here's what I tell every man who walks through my door. Your body is not broken. It's simply been starved of what it needs to feel alive again. And that begins not in a pharmacy, but in the most overlooked place imaginable, your kitchen. You see, the decline you may be feeling isn't just age. It's your body signaling that it needs support, not silence, that it still wants to move, love, laugh, and wake up with energy in the morning. It just needs the right kind of fuel. And I don't mean something trendy or extreme. I'm talking about 3 simple fruits: familiar, humble, powerful. A red one that breathes life back into your arteries. A green one that nourishes the fire inside you. And a yellow one that powers every cell you depend on to feel steady and strong. These fruits don't carry side effects or fine print. They carry nutrients your body recognizes, responds to, and thrives on. And when used together, they create something I've watched transform men, not just in how they perform, but in how they carry themselves. So if you've been wondering whether there's still time to feel better, stronger, more like yourself, I'm here to tell you, not only is there time, there's a way, and it's a lot closer than you think. 2. The fruit that boosts blood flow. Now, let's begin where healing often begins, in the blood. Because if there's one thing I've seen make the most visible difference for older men, it's improving circulation. And not just in the ways you'd expect. I'm talking about the kind of flow that brings warmth back to your hands and feet, that fills your muscles with strength, and yes, that restores function and confidence in the most intimate parts of your life. That kind of change doesn't start with a prescription. It starts with a piece of fruit. A ruby red one you may have passed by 100 times without knowing what it could do for you. I'm talking about the pomegranate. I still remember one of my patients, let's call him Harold. He was 72 and carried himself like a man who once felt strong, but hadn't felt that way in a long time. He sat across from me and said, "Dr. Kapoor, it's like something just stopped." His energy was low, intimacy felt out of reach, and he was starting to believe that part of his life was simply over. But what Harold didn't know was that his issue wasn't about age. It was about blood flow. Over time, our arteries naturally stiffen. They narrow. And when blood can't move freely, neither can desire, vitality, or pleasure. Pomegranate is one of the most powerful tools we have for turning that around because it's rich in compounds called polyphenols, especially punicolagens. These aren't just fancy words. These are the natural agents your body uses to relax blood vessels, fight inflammation, and most importantly, boost nitric oxide, that incredible molecule that signals your arteries to open. And when they open, blood flows, life flows. In one clinical study, men who drank pomegranate juice daily saw dramatic improvements in firmness and stamina in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks. No chemicals, no prescriptions, just biology, finally supported instead of ignored. I had Harold start with 6 ounces of pure pomegranate juice every morning, and when he came back a month later, something had changed. His face looked brighter, his voice had more strength in it, and with a quiet grin, he said, "My wife's been looking at me differently. That's the power of this fruit. It doesn't just improve your numbers, it helps you feel like a man again, grounded and alive in your own skin. And that's just the beginning. Because if circulation is the river, then what we feed into it next. The green fruit can reshape your hormones from the inside out. Let's keep going." 3. Fueling testosterone naturally. If blood flow is the river that nourishes your body, then hormones are the fire that keeps everything lit from within. And for many men over 60, that fire has started to dim, not because the spark is gone, but because no one ever told you how to keep it burning. I see it all the time. A man walks into my office, well put together, still active, still showing up for life. But underneath that composure, there's a quiet frustration. It's in the way he leans in just slightly when he says, "Dr. Kapoor, I just don't feel like myself anymore." That was exactly what Leonard, a 68-year-old former contractor, told me during his visit. He wasn't sick, he wasn't depressed, but he felt slower, heavier, like the light inside him had dimmed. He missed the energy, the edge, the drive, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday life. And what Leonard didn't know, what most men aren't told, is that this slow fade often comes down to one thing: testosterone. Not in the macho, gym advertisement sense, but in the real, biological, deeply human sense. Testosterone isn't just a hormone, it's a feeling. It's that quiet inner strength, that confidence in your handshake, the steadiness in your decisions, the part of you that wakes up ready to engage with the world. And yes, it's a major part of what keeps intimacy alive. But after 60, your body doesn't make it as easily. Stress creeps in, your nutritional foundation thins out, and the result? That fire doesn't go out, but it gets buried. Here's where the avocado comes in. Creamy, humble, familiar, and quietly one of the most powerful testosterone supporters you'll ever find. Why? Because it delivers what your body needs to stoke that hormonal flame: healthy monounsaturated fats, magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6. Together, these nutrients help reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that suffocates testosterone over time, and give your body the raw materials to start building again. When Leonard began eating just half an avocado a day, nothing fancy, just adding it to breakfast or spreading it on toast, something shifted. Within a week, he told me his mind felt clearer. He wasn't dragging through the afternoons anymore. His sleep deepened. His sense of self, the one that had been slipping away, began to return. Not overnight, but noticeably, gently, steadily. You see, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about nourishing the part of you that still wants to show up fully, that still wants to feel strong, steady, and connected. The avocado doesn't promise miracles, but it gives your body what it's quietly been asking for. And when you answer that call, everything begins to shift. Your mood, your energy, your sense of being a man in the world. And now, as we move forward, I want to introduce you to a fruit that fuels all of that at the cellular level. It's not exotic, it's not flashy, but it might just be the most essential piece of all. Let's talk about what powers your engine every single day. 4. Simple energy every morning. Now let's talk about something most people overlook, your energy. Not the kind you fake with coffee or push through with willpower, but the kind that carries you through the day without crashing. The kind that helps you feel steady when you wake up, grounded when you move, and capable in every part of your life, especially the ones that matter most. I can't tell you how many men over 60 have come into my office looking for answers to something they can't quite name. They'll say, "I'm just tired, Dr. Kapoor," but not the kind of tired a nap can fix. It's a deep kind of fatigue, a physical heaviness, a mental fog, a sense that you've lost momentum in your body and maybe even in your spirit. That was exactly what Raymond, a 73-year-old retired school principal, told me one morning. He said, "I don't feel depressed, but I don't feel awake either." And when I asked him about his mornings, he admitted something I've heard many times. "I usually skip breakfast. Just coffee, sometimes toast if anything." What most men don't realize is that the first hour after you wake up is one of the most important windows for your entire body. Your blood vessels are opening, your muscles are waking up, your brain is trying to recalibrate. And if you don't give your system real fuel it recognizes, you're essentially asking your engine to run on fumes. That's where the banana comes in. Simple, familiar, but quietly powerful in a way that most people completely overlook. Bananas are rich in potassium, magnesium, vitamin B6, and natural sugars that fuel your body at the cellular level. They help your blood vessels relax, your nerves fire smoothly, and your muscles regain the energy they've been asking for. It's not just about avoiding cramps or preventing hunger. It's about giving your aging body what it needs to move through the day with strength and clarity. When I had Raymond start his morning with a banana paired with a glass of water and a bit of protein, he came back a week later with a different kind of look in his eye. "I'm not dragging anymore," he said. "I feel like I have a little lift in my step again." And that lift, that lightness, that's what happens when you stop skipping over your needs. When you start treating your body not like a machine you're trying to squeeze more life out of, but like something sacred that deserves care. Bananas may not look like much, but when you give them to your body first thing in the morning, you're sending a message. You're saying, "I'm still here, I still matter, and I'm not done yet." That kind of nourishment ripples through everything, your energy, your clarity, your ability to be present with the people you love. And when you combine this yellow fuel with the power of the red and the green, something remarkable begins to happen. So now, let's put it all together. Because synergy, when the right things work in harmony, is where the real transformation begins. 5. Your 5-minute morning reset. We've talked about the red fruit that restores your circulation, the green one that reignites your hormones, and the yellow one that powers your cells with steady energy. But now, I want to show you what happens when you bring them together, not just as individual fixes, but as a quiet, intentional morning ritual. Because when these 3 fruits work in harmony, the impact isn't just nutritional, it's transformational. And that transformation doesn't begin in a lab. It begins at your kitchen table, in those first few minutes after you wake up, when your body is asking you a simple question: will you give me what I need today? After decades of watching men try everything, from testosterone shots to fad diets to expensive supplements, I've learned something simple, something sacred. The most powerful healing often begins in the smallest of habits, and this one takes less than 5 minutes. I call it the Morning Vitality Trio. And it's as easy as it is powerful. 6 ounces of pure pomegranate juice, half an avocado, and 1 ripe banana. That's it. No complicated recipes, no pills, just food, real food, that speaks directly to the parts of your body that are still ready to rebuild. The pomegranate juice opens your arteries like a gentle river clearing debris, priming your blood vessels for movement and flow. The avocado delivers the kind of healthy fats and minerals your body desperately needs to support testosterone and calm inflammation. And the banana fuels your nervous system, stabilizes blood sugar, and provides steady cellular level energy that carries you through your day. Together, they form a foundation that says to your body, I haven't given up on you. I still believe in your strength. I've seen men who felt like they were running on empty regain their rhythm with this simple morning act. Not because they were chasing a miracle, but because they chose consistency over chaos, because they chose nourishment over neglect. One man, a retired engineer in his 70s, told me, Dr. Kapoor, it feels like my body finally has a morning routine that respects my age instead of working against it. That's exactly it. This isn't about youth. This is about partnership with your own body, your own future. And I want you to feel what that's like, not just for a day, but for the life you still want to live. So tomorrow morning, I want you to try it. Just once. Then do it again the next day. Let it become your quiet commitment. Because those few minutes, those 3 simple foods, could be the beginning of something bigger than you realize. Not a diet, not a trick, but a foundation, a steady, gentle way of telling your body, we're not finished. And when your body hears that, something powerful starts to happen. 6. This isn't the end. If there's one truth I've learned after more than 30 years of sitting across from men like you, it's this. Aging doesn't break a man. Giving up does. And too many good men have quietly accepted things they never had to. They've accepted the fatigue as normal. They've accepted the dip in desire as inevitable. They've accepted the shrinking sense of confidence as the natural course of getting older. But let me say this to you, gently but firmly. It doesn't have to be that way. Not if you're willing to shift how you care for yourself. Not if you're ready to start listening to your body again. Not with frustration or judgment, but with compassion and attention. You've now seen what 3 simple fruits can do when you give them a chance. Pomegranate for circulation, the quiet river that restores flow where it matters most. Avocado for testosterone, the steady flame that keeps your strength alive. Banana for energy, the deep cellular power that fuels your day. These aren't trendy superfoods pulled from the corners of the world. They're everyday gifts that your body still knows how to use. And when you choose them each morning with intention, you're not just building a better breakfast. You're building a message, one your heart, your muscles, and your spirit can hear. I still care. I still want to feel alive. I've seen it over and over again. Men who thought they were done. Men who believed their best years had slipped away. Men who had lost the rhythm of intimacy, the clarity of purpose, or the steadiness of confidence. And then they made a small, quiet decision to show up for themselves again, to nourish instead of neglect, to rebuild instead of retreat. It doesn't take perfection. It doesn't take a radical reinvention. It just takes consistency. That's where the real power lives. So, if you're still here with me, if something about this message has stirred something in you, maybe a flicker of curiosity, maybe even a flicker of hope, then I want you to know something important. You are not alone. You're not behind. And you are not too late, not even close. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's just been waiting for you to remember how to take care of it again. And now you know how, not through pills or pressure, but through presence, through choice, through the quiet act of beginning again, each morning, one bite at a time. Because this isn't the end. It's the beginning of your next chapter. And you, my friend, are still the author. 7. Start with one small choice. If you've made it this far, that tells me something important about you. You haven't given up. You still care, and that matters more than you probably realize. Because real change, the kind that actually sticks, doesn't begin with motivation or perfect plans. It begins with one quiet decision, one honest moment where you say, I want to feel better. I want to feel like myself again. That's all it takes. Not a perfect routine, not some dramatic transformation, just a small, steady yes to your own well-being. So, tomorrow morning, I want to invite you to take one simple step. Choose one of the foods we talked about, just one. Maybe it's a bowl of oats topped with a banana. Maybe it's half an avocado with your eggs. Maybe it's that 6-ounce glass of pomegranate juice. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to happen. Because what you choose in the first hour after you wake up, before the world asks anything of you, sets the tone for everything that follows. That first decision becomes a kind of compass, one that tells your body you matter. And when you start your day with care, with nourishment, with intention, your body listens, your heart listens, your strength starts to come back, not all at once, but enough to make you look in the mirror one morning and quietly say, there you are. So let this be your invitation, not to chase youth and not to fix what was never broken, but to build something steady, something your body can rely on, not just for one good day, but for the life you still want to live. You deserve that. And now you know how to begin. I'll be right here with you, every step of the way. Before you go, I want to leave you with this quiet truth. Your body is still listening, even now. Even if it's been a while since you felt strong, steady, or fully alive. The path back doesn't require perfection. It begins with one gentle decision at a time. So if something today stirred something in you, don't ignore it. Honor it. Choose one small thing, a piece of fruit, a slower morning, a moment of care, and let that be the start. Because your story isn't finished, not even close. The next chapter is yours to write. If this video spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be the encouragement someone else is waiting for. And if you'd like more honest conversations like this, feel free to subscribe so we can keep walking this path together. If there's a man in your life who could use this message, I hope you'll share it with him. We're all in this together, and I promise you this, you're not done yet.